Hi guys, welcome back to the show. And today let's talk about the man of the hour, Mr. Putin himself, who I think is going to make an effort to take over the rest of this region. And I discussed this last time. This looks like a large image. Let's see if it pulls up. And it seems like oh no, it's German. We're not going to get it. Oh, wow, it's good analysis though. Great. So what he has right now is the red, and that's rebel controlled. And there's this article here that says Russia. Where is it? Oh no, that's not it either. Where is this? Russian rebels are like, hey, listen, rebels asked Russia for military help in eastern Ukraine. So this is gonna be great. So this is rebel held right now, and this region is asking Russia for help to sort this stuff out. And what it's actually asking for is help to get the rest of this, because this is all of Donetsk and this is all of Luhansk, right? So to get all of this, you definitely need Russian help. So that is what's happening. It's very interesting because the Russian troops are on the outside. They're not in here yet. They have some peacekeeping folk, but they don't have actual military. So this is what we need to be watching for when the war starts. This is when we can see Bitcoin prices really start coming down. Though, I still firmly believe that Bitcoin will come down to this green line. And this green line's right now at about 25K. Or we might get a wick lower. We might get a wick down to here, actually. Hey, well, who knows, actually. Where we get to, I'm not sure. But once we cross below the 50, I've said this a bunch of times, I'm a broken record, we get down to the 200, right? It's an inevitability. And I'm just waiting for that to occur. So I have everything in stable coins. And speaking of stable coins, the amount of stable coins on the side is immense. It's absurd. It is the most I've ever seen. I've heard, actually. Someone's told me this. And this sounds accurate. I have a bunch of stable coins up on exchange, just waiting to be deployed. So you can bet that when the time is right, when the capitulation's proper, you can bet that there will be a massive rally, an absolutely wild rally up. You'll see a giant bar, right? Like a huge bar, like the size of this thing combined, probably just shooting up. And we don't know when that's going to be, but I don't think it's going to be while war is still, under thing. I think it's going to happen when Russia says, "Hey, listen, we're done." Right? We've successfully, saved the people of Donetsk and whatever they're preaching, right? Donetsk and Luhansk. So it's like, okay, all right, cool, man. Whatever you say. You can also see that it's not very far. It's like 50 kilometers. So this is not a huge region, right? It'll be easy for them to take over this area. I would not be, this should not be thing. But what's interesting here is that Crimea is already a Russian part. Now, this entire Donbas region is going to be a Russian part, Donetsk and Luhansk. They probably want to connect Crimea with the Donbas area, I would think, right? This is probably the next move. So to do that, you're going to have to take over Zaporizhzhia and this region here, which is going to be painful, and maybe this and this. The question is he going to do this time, or is he going to do this later? I think it's going to do this later. That is my guess, because he may lose support in the homeland if he tries to do much more. Remembering that he doesn't have very much of an option, right? Like, this is not, and what I mean by he doesn't have very much of an option is he knows his demographics are falling apart, right? The Russian people are not producing enough babies. So in 40 years from now, they will not have the tax base to pay for a military to do these kind of wild things. So whatever they want to do, they must do now. And remember that the reason that they don't want NATO at the doorstep is because what Russia really wants is to be the USSR again, right? That's what Russia really wants to be. It wants to be the USSR again. And what was the USSR? The USSR was massive, okay? It was all of Kazakhstan, all of Mongolia. It was all of Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan. It touched on Afghanistan. So they just rolled their guys in, right? Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Poland, Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Austria, Serbia, Bulgaria. It was wild. It was huge. It was the biggest thing ever. And that gave him that huge amount of that buffer zone. And you can imagine the GDP growth here. Like all of this is part of them, and they're right on. It's like the giant bear. They're at the edge of the West, right? And now the West has this huge buffer zone, right, between Poland and Belarus. And Belarus is on Russia's side, but it's an independent country, sort of independent. But you can see, and so these countries are all nervous, right? Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. They're nervous that they're going to be, and Finland, that they're going to be taken over, less Finland, taken over by the Russians. But now Ukraine, and Ukraine wanted to join NATO, but it couldn't because Russia was like, nah, you ain't joining NATO, right? Absolutely not. Because if you do, then it's like this whole wall, basically, except Belarus is a NATO. And the problem with NATO is if you join NATO, if you're not familiar with NATO, NATO means national arm. You know what? I don't remember what the thing is. I'm not going to look it up either. But basically, if some country attacks a country that's part of NATO, all of these countries need to join in. And it's crazy. That is how we'll start World War III, actually. If Russia or someone else decides to attack, and I think Turkey's a part of it now too, attack one of these countries, all of them need to join. It's absurd. It's by treaty. It's really, really wild. So, we will wait and see. But I can tell you that this area is now gone. This Donetsk region, this stuff is gone. It's theirs. It's Russia's. The question is how far is he going to go? I don't think it's going to go into this area, but he might. But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Let's wait and see. And that will be the determinant of how far Bitcoin goes down, right? That next thing, the next move here. Yeah. Well, crypto fear and greed at 25 today. Extreme fear, they call it. We've been lower. We've been down 5, I think, last month. This garbage. Analysts say Bitcoin bottom is in at BTC bounces back to 38. Look at the price right now. It's like 37,200. Dude, the price bottom is not in. It's garbage. This is just some people messing with people. This is really funny. Regulators in Canada warned crypto exchanges not to promote self-custodial wallets, and then the Ontario Securities Commission sent tweets from Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong and Kraken CEO Jesse Powell to the Canadian police. Dude, these people understand nothing. They don't understand that you can't, self-custodial wallets are hard wallets, dude. It's this stuff right here. This is a self-custodial wallet, right? Just the stupidity in the governments really annoys me. There's nothing going on here. Okay, a report to the police. What are the police going to do? Not to promote hardware wallets and these paper wallets? Because if it's in the hot wallet up in the sky, basically an exchange, the government can say, hey, listen, don't transact. If these people come in, seize the coins. Okay, cool. Once you seize the coins, then the guy can't use it, right? And that's you don't want that. And these two guys, Brian Armstrong, Coinbase CEO, and Kraken CEO, are in agreement with us. It's like, no, man, we should. And I think it says in the last line here that it's unjust, right? People believe money shouldn't be censored, and users should have protection from unjust seizure of assets. Absolutely. The media makes it seem like the truckers were trying to overthrow the government. They were not trying to overthrow the government. They were occupying some area, right? They were occupying the area. They were trying to get their point across, which is to end mask mandates, goddammit. And at the least they could have done, the prime minister, I think his name is Justin Trudeau, the least he could have done is come down and had some dialogue with them. But didn't even do that. Just whipped out the stick and just beat him. It's really absurd. It's intense. It's too much. I don't agree with this. We need this government out. This is like a trash government. This is how we lose. This is like Chinese, man. This is like the China. I don't want China here, right? I don't want this thing to be run by like China. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean that you can trash them completely. It's absurd. Russian government introduced crypto bill to parliament over central bank objections. Okay, so you get the issue here. The central bank is like, hey, listen, don't let crypto be a thing. We want to introduce a central bank, CBDC. The government's like, nah, man, we're going to let crypto be a thing. Now, you can't pay for it. You can't buy things with crypto, but you can exchange it, you can mine it, all these other things. Interesting move. I think this, as from the government's perspective, I definitely want crypto to be banned, and I'd want the CBDC to be the primary, because then I have absolute control. I can really cut anyone's money off at any one point if I was the government. If I'm not the government, if I'm myself, I certainly do not want that CBDC. God damn it, Jesus. Like, if I was to be some kind of criminal, they just take my money away. It's like really absurd. Or try to do what Canada's mistakenly thinking it's doing. It's really absurd. The level of stupidity. I wish there was a name, but there isn't, right? Of who's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Can't do nothing about this, dude. They can't do nothing. And I've like, what they should do here is they should move these crypto things that have been seized by the government to oh, here it is. Shortly after. Yeah, this is Christopher Freeland. What a pain. What a pain. Let's see this person. Total pain. Absolute pain. Not cool. Yeah, not cool. Yeah, look, self-custody means the owner of the digital asset holds the private key for the wallet and thus has exclusive access. An appropriate metaphor would be to keep an asset in a safe with only the owner having the combination to the safe instead of placing it in a bank. Exactly, right? On this wallet, I have the private and the public key, and there you go. It's self-custody. What, you're gonna cancel all of these, dude? Canada, embarrassment. Yeah, and you get this with Russia, right? I would want the CBDC if I was the government. If I'm not the government, like myself, I do not want that CBDC. Screw the CBDC. That's going to control and do a lot of things. Though it's good for the central bank for certain. Bank can definitely do things. Sorry, I'm a little tired. I went to the gym, hit it really hard. So we're on coin market cap. We're about 38,100. Expect this to go lower, obviously. As we discussed so many times before, the 50 week, if we crash below the 50 week, we're going down to the 200 week. It's just the way it is. Looks like my internet's put out a gain as well. And I think what's going to happen. And so this guy says the Elliott wave is we're going to hit one time down and then we're going to peak up to the 5 and then come right back down again. Right. So we will see if we can get deals, then all hurrah. But in looking at this, I don't see it really actually coming down all the way here and then going back up. It doesn't look that way, right? It looks more like it's going to come up this way and then come back down. But we will have to wait and see, of course. It just seems really hard for that. Like, unless there was like a really deep crash, but we're not even seeing that. It's like we'd have to have like a really straight line down basically to get down to this bottom line. That's lower than that's lower than what I expect it to be. So aside from that, I don't really have much else to say. Vladimir Putin's the man of the hour, man of the week, I guess. And I think we will chat again tomorrow. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you soon.